Hello, hello. Mrs. Edstrom here. Today in our notes, we are looking at fraction of a fraction. So if you are in the packet with me, we are on page 19. Go ahead and put in today's date. This is our title, fraction of a fraction today. And we're going to start off with our essential question, and that is, how do I find a fraction of a fraction? So go ahead and write that in. How do I find a fraction of a fraction? That's a lot of fractions, 2 of them there. So this is where we're going to look at a lot of word problems here, and we're going to be coloring some things in. So today I am going to be using 2 colors, one for each of the fractions, and we're going to be shading some things in on our boxes. So you might also want 2 colors. You can also shade in by using some diagonal lines. I'll show you that as well. But we're looking for some overlapping in our shading here. So let's take a look at this first problem. Joe Dominguez has decided to plant a rectangular flower garden. Joe loves red carnations. He wants 50% of the garden to be planted with carnations, and he wants 1/3 of those carnations to be red. So let's take a look at this. The first thing that we are looking at is a 50%. So we are saying 50% are the carnations. Let's see if I can spell carnations. Carnations, there we go. So that means that if this is my garden, I'm going to divide it in half. And I'm going to shade in this half over here. If you're not using colors, you can use the direction of your shading like that to shade in 1/2 there. So this half's carnations, this half is all kinds of other flowers. We don't know what they are. We don't really care because this problem only talks about carnations. The next thing we know is that 1/3 are red. 1/3 are red. So in this direction, we're going to divide. Mostly we care about dividing the carnations, but I'm going to divide the whole garden into thirds so that we can talk about a fraction of the whole thing. So if 1/3 of them are red, you can see I'm using different colors. You can shade it in using a different direction. We don't know that this third is red. We only know that 1/3 of the carnations are red, so I'm only going to color in 1/3 of the carnations. And now I'm looking at this as a whole. So now my garden is split up into 6 sections. So I'm looking at fractions that are part of 6. And I have 1 section that is red carnations. So 1/6, we can say, of the garden are red carnations, if you're writing a full sentence. 1/6. So typically the question at the end of this would say, what fraction of our garden is red carnations? And the answer would be 1/6. Let's try another one. Howie has 5/8 of a pizza left over. So when I read my problems, you'll notice I'm annotating as I go. This is called annotation. I'm not writing things in, but I'm kind of circling and highlighting and underlining the different parts that I want to remember later on. So 5/8 of the pizza are left over from last night's dinner. He loves pizza and he eats half, which I know looks like this as a fraction, half of the remaining pizza the next day for breakfast. So let's take a look at this. 5/8, that means I am dividing this into 8ths. There's 4ths. And yes, I could divide it across here, but it really helps if we use the fractions just in one direction. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we are looking for 5/8 of the pizza is left over. So we have to make sure we're careful about whether it said he ate 5/8 and that's gone, or whether we're looking at leftovers. So 5/8 is left over. So I'm going to shade in 5/8 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm shading all the way to here. And he's going to eat half of it. So that means I'm going to divide this in half. And he's only eating this bottom half here. So we are looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, plus 8 more, means that there's 16 total. So we might have looked at this as the pizza was cut into 16 pieces. 5/8 of it was left over, which means there were 10 pieces left over. And then he ate half of that, so he ate 5 slices, which is 5/16 of the pizza. That is how much he ate for breakfast. So one thing that you can look at is we can be using this model to help us with finding our fraction of a fraction. Another way that you can solve these problems is we can do some multiplication. So for example, if we had 5/8 of, or 1/2 of our 5/8, that means that we are multiplying. So we can also do fraction multiplication here. 5 times 1 is 5, 8 times 2 is 16. We could have done the same thing up above. We're looking for 1/3 of the 50%, so 1/3 of means times, and 50% is 1/2. And we multiply straight across. 1 times 1 is 1, 3 times 2 is 6. So you can use equations to solve these problems, or you can use models. If you're using both, then that means that you're just showing us a little bit more understanding. So go ahead and try out this next one. Frida Friendly works for a local car dealership. She noticed that 3/4 of the cars are sedans, and that 1/2, or that half of them, are white. So what fraction of the dealership's cars are white sedans? Go ahead and try that one on your own, and we'll take a quick look at that tomorrow.